Hey folks, I got a bunch of kayaks up there with wheels and drag straps, and we're going to talk about carts or other ways to get your kayak from your vehicle to the water. And before I really jump into that one, we're going to go here into the garage and we're going to look at my trailer. If you've watched my videos, you know that I don't trailer stuff. I hate a trailer. I have one, and it's a good one, but it mostly sits there with this Seagull fish skiff, which I need. I say I need. I've had that in the back of my truck. But I don't like using a trailer. The main reason is that if you rely on a trailer to move your kayak around, and it has its advantages. We'll talk about the advantages here in a minute. But if your kayak is on a trailer, you're limiting yourself to where everyone else can go. If you're not using creative access points, you're not getting to the dumb fish. You're not getting to the fish that don't see the pressure. And for sure, boats that trailer in are places that's a well-worn path. That's where everyone goes, right? And you know, I prefer to keep my kayaks not on a trailer, but in the back of this truck, right? And I've gone from just putting it down in the bed, which is honestly my favorite, because the lower it is, the easier it is to just, you know, to leverage, and we can get into discussions on rooftopping it and the ergonomics of it. And I actually prefer a longer boat if you're going to put it on, you know, on a roof rack. It's just a longer lever. It's easier to lift. But I lift it up to this. This is something that Trey made for me, Trey Leach from Innovative Sportsman, and I can get a couple boats here, and I'm happy. So let's move on from trailers. No, I'm not done. I'm not done with trailers. You have to pay double at tolls. You have to carry, you know, a spare tire. You have to have a tire iron to get that specific nut off. You end up getting into places, and I've done it with that trailer, where you have to like 23-point turn it to get it through the woods, unhook it, tug on it, mash it through mud yourself with your own heft. Trailers suck. Anyhow, so what I have here, I have 4 boats. I got the Sholey on an old Harmony cart, and that's a solid wheel. We're going to talk about wheels in a second. I got this custom cart, which has those super long bunks and no need to strap it in. I had to strap in this one, and it's still crab walked. You know, I'm going from least favorite to favorite way of getting them in. But that cart with the what is it, like the C-Tug wheels? Who makes those? The sand wheels or something? Those are pretty cool, and we'll talk about wheels here in a minute. But the length of this bunk, honestly, is stolen right from the Wilderness Systems cart. You know, I used Dwayne Wally's. Really liked it. Like the idea that I didn't have to spend time strapping things down, and that it didn't crab walk as often. My favorite cart is not a cart at all. It's Boondocks landing gear. And this is an older model that I put on my Take 2, and I like it. I like these wheels on it. But we'll come back to it. And then my favorite way of getting them in, there's no cart. There is, however, a drag strap. This is Rogue Fishing Company, and that drag strap it's easy. It's the easiest way. It's simple. It's already on there, and people worry, aren't you going to wear it out? Man, I love Chad's video. Chad dragging his SS 127 for like 8 miles around his neighborhood. See, it's still good. So we'll get into the ergonomics of dragging and what makes that not a really bad option for a lot of situations, and maybe talk about some situations where you shouldn't drag it, but there's so many more that dragging is good. So let's take these. I'm gonna say we're gonna take these one at a time, but I'm gonna talk about wheels first. Let's talk about wheels. So way back when, I don't know, early 2000s, I don't know what I did before then. I started kayak fishing in 1998. I can't remember. I think I just backed up my pickup truck to the water, yanked it in and dropped it. I probably did some dragging too. I'm sure I grabbed it from the front and dragged it on the keel, which is the quickest way. It's the hardest on you, it's hardest on the boat, and that's why they have on a lot of the models like that. You can't see it, but that Attack 140 has a replaceable keel guard. Anyhow, that's the worst way to drag it, is by lifting the front, and we'll get into that. But at some point, Harmony Gear, which is a division of Confluence Outdoor, which is Wilderness Systems and Perception and Dagger, Mad River Canoes, they had Harmony Gear, right? And Harmony made this cart, right? Let's take this off. With this, actually the first wheel they had wasn't this kind of wheel. This wheel is like solid, like foam rubber or something or other. You can't, like, I can take an ice pick and jab it in there, it's not gonna. But the first one had an inner tube, had a little stem there, and was always problematic. You'd get a leak in one of these things, it'd lose its seal there, it'd be flat, and you'd have this, well, you'd be somewhere and say, I don't have a pump, and you'd just drag it over that stuff and it'd be horrible. We got a story about it. Jed Plunkert and I went and we accessed the Chesapeake Bay to get near the rips. The Calvert Cliffs nuclear power plant discharged to fish it in the winter. And we went in at the state park, and collectively we destroyed 2 carts and pieced together with, I forget what happened. He broke his frame. I blew out both tires. I mean, it was like, it was over 2 miles that we were carting down to the water. You know, we pieced together one good cart from 2 busted ones, and he used it, and then I dragged it, and I think I had the better deal. Anyhow, they used to have the inner tube tires. They've mostly switched over to these solid ones, and you know, they're not bad, but the less compression that they have, and this probably has, this is a beach wheel, the best compression. This one's the best for off-roading. You can go over one of these Wheel Ease. I've had this on the Pro Angler and 5 other boats. I've had them on the landing gear. I've had them on this cart. But the issue with this is my favorite. And this is actually something I'm going to use on my next one, on that boat over there, the Osprey 1436. I'm going to get like a new set of Boondocks landing gear, because it really is my favorite way. If I'm going to use wheels, that's my favorite. Anyhow, I'm going to put these on there because these are the most off-road capable. The issue though, and why I took these off of this custom cart that Trey made, way overbuilt, and I keep having them add stuff onto it. But tough. The feature is long bunks, and then, you know, I did have, you can see I have the extra width there for that wheel, but I didn't like that I would roll this into the water, and man, the upward force of all the air in that trying to lift up, I couldn't get the cart out. I couldn't float it off. Like, it was actually lifting it up, and I couldn't remove this. So I abandoned that and went to these wheels. Was it Yak Gear, Sand Wheels, Railblazer, something, C-Tug. There, it says C-Tug. They're C-Tug wheels. you can see they sort of compress where they need to, and then they pop up here. And this gives you some level of, you know, off-road capability. It's good. It's better by a long shot than that. That sucks. That one, the first twig you hit, it wants to like shift and like crab walk. And I mean, man, you can see right there that I'm not on there straight. I crab walk my way over here. That sucked. Having this thing move sideways in a way that, you know, and it collapsed. I tried to put it on and, you know, just getting it off the truck, it flopped and collapsed and hateful. A little bit better. A little bit better. Didn't have to strap it. This one you have to strap it. Even when you strap it, it's better if you double strap. It just takes time. This is better. This is better. And these wheels compress and are good. Not as good for off-road of that, but these are so hard. They're really hard when, and they've been, I've had these boing wheels on here, right? I got the length for it. They used to be on this set of landing gear, right? Reason they're not on there anymore, I'd roll this into the water, then you have to take it off. You have to, like, I can't even do it, two-handed, push it down and fight it, and then lift it to the up position. I mean, it's easy. It's easy when there's no buoyancy. So, you know, some compression can roll over most stuff off-road. Much better compression, hard to get back into the up position or just get the cart out. And then there's this. This is my favorite way of doing it. Now, is it hard on someone to drag? No, it's easy. It's easier on you. Let me go over the specifics. Let me go over the ergonomics. Let me get my tripod out and show you the ergonomics of dragging. What makes it easier? What makes it easier on your boat? What makes your boat hull last longer? I will tell you, the thing that destroys boats is not dragging them. The thing that destroys boats is, let me get centered. When you get in a boat and you run aground on a sandbar, what do you do? What do I just do? What is that? What is paddle and put this thing forward? And you're on a ledge rock. Your weight is pushing down and you're stuck on rock and you're just taking your whole, for me, 225 pounds of Jeff Little going, "Ugh!" That's removing hull material. This is not. So instinct, if you're doing this solo, you don't have a buddy to grab the other end and help you get it to the water, is this. You grab this, you lift up, and I'm using some effort. You can see that effort. My wife would be mad. She's our lawn care specialist, and I'm digging up the lawn. So, and that's why I mentioned earlier, you know, look at that coming off. We've got the replaceable keel that you can take off. So, one step easier is, and if you don't have one of these, let me say, if you don't have one of these, you should. But if you don't have one and you've ordered it and hasn't shown up yet, you can use just a tie down strap, like a roof rack strap. But this makes it easier because you're spreading out the force, the friction coefficient that this kayak has over, in this case, it's a Wilderness Systems Thresher 155, over 15.5 feet of boat, right? So there's no one single part that's really digging in. How easy is this? Want it to be easier? Okay. We're gonna make it easier. We're gonna lengthen this thing. The longer you make this, it's just the ergonomics of it. The longer you make your drag strap, the easier the pull gets. This is hard to film it and do this at the same time, but you know, you get the concept. You can do that with this particular drag strap. Now that it's longer, much easier. Okay, this boat has it too. You know why? You know why this boat has it? Same thing built in. Why? Why does Drew Gregory win everything? Why? Same reason I was ranting about that thing in the garage I never moved, the trailer. Because he uses creative access points. He goes where no one else goes. He goes where the fish are stupid. You should do that too. And a drag strap. Ooh, big help. Okay, this one I haven't lengthened it long enough. It's still on the keel. I'm gonna pull more length out. The longer it gets, the more it drags on. Oh yeah, a greater length. Yep. It just got so much easier. So much easier. Okay, so that concept is covered. Dragging rocks, but sometimes it doesn't. If you're actually at a ramp and it's asphalt or concrete, gravel, not as bad, but if it's asphalt or concrete and you're dragging it, the first one of these I did that. I dragged it the length of from here to that fertilizer truck, whatever it is. I don't know what they're getting ready to spray on our fields. I dragged one of those and I wore it out in the first shot just because I'm used to dragging and I'm not used to pavement. And the place that it wore out was right here. First day with it, I didn't even get it in the water, and I dragged it and I wore it out on the high spot. And that's because if you're dragging and you're dragging over organic materials, over mud, over gravel, over, man, this nice lawn, easy. Asphalt, it's gonna chew it up a little bit more. I know Chad's video says otherwise, and there's some truth to that, but if there's a high point, that was one of the first things I called up Hans and I'm like, dude, we got a peak on this that is where this boat will fail. And I've plastic welded there before. Anyhow, my point is, if you want to have the best of both worlds, and really what I'm going for is the new set of Boondocks landing gear with the beach wheels on this inflatable. Let's walk over here. I got it on order. Talked to Joe at iCast. And all of mine are old. Like, I think I've purchased 3 of them and 2 of them left with other boats, and I still have that one left and it's on the take 2. My next setup is going to be, and have you ever done a Boondocks landing gear install on a rotomolded boat, you know it can be tough, but man, is this one going to be easy. And it's something that I love about Boondocks is that they are working with companies like Crescent. Man, you know, the Shoaly has that little notch right there for it. Native boats come with it, you know, already there. Other manufacturers are working in cooperation, you know, with Boondocks to make sure that landing gear can fit on their boat, because it's nice. My favorite part of it is that it comes with you. You don't have to run back up to the truck. you don't, you know, it saves time. You drop it down, you wheel it over, and if it's that beach wheel, like I said, beach wheel, it compresses when you roll over logs and stuff. It's awesome. My plan with this is to get it close to the water, maybe get the beach wheel so it's right there, and this is such a lightweight craft, I can just lift it without rolling it into the water. Lift it up, and then I have just a little bit of drag. So speaking of dragging, this boat, the hull, has these two handles, and it has this space in between. Yeah, it's for efficiency with the Torpedo. Yeah. But the Osprey has the two handles so that you can kind of reverse wheelbarrow it. You know, it has, that's part of the design, is that you can two-hand this thing and kind of drag it behind you two-handed. And what do you drag it on? You drag it on its nose. So you have double material from here to here, running the entire length of it, and especially, I mean, I've had this one a while, and the underside of that is in good shape. I've been dragging it on that double thickness. So that's it. That's what I tell you about carts. I take it back. I got one more I didn't really cover. It's because Marty Mood didn't return it. I didn't cover scupper hole carts. And I did cover, you know, Boondock's new one. But I do have the beach wheels on the scupper cart for the, you know, for my Outback. Marty just didn't return it. But that's a great option. The only thing I didn't like about that is you had to turn it on its side to put them in. And I actually had these built so I could kick these up like kickstands, put the butt of it up in the air, get it up in there myself. You know, I hope he does a good job making the scupper holes, you know, strong so they can withstand their own product, which is the scupper hole cart. Okay, I think I'm done now. Hopefully you'll learn something about creative access points. Hopefully you've learned nothing about trailers other than they suck. And hopefully you've learned about the different wheels, different ways to get your kayak from your vehicle to the water at a creative access point. By the way, this video was inspired by the Little Stuff YouTube channel viewer making comments and saying, I want to know about this. So if there's a topic you want to know about and I haven't covered it, I'm going to reply and say, oh wait, I've covered that. Here's the video. Here's one of 800 and however many videos I got. Already covered that. Or, I don't think I have covered that. And this is one of those videos. So please comment, tell your friend about the channel, and dig around in the playlists. So many different playlists. Find a topic, watch something on my channel you haven't already watched. Makes those view hours go up, which helps me keep producing content for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.